Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Welcome to C Chemistry. The topic of discussion is criminalistics. Criminalistics is another very important area of forensic science. Criminalistic requires several types of expertise. Criminalistic in small department and laboratories handle a general workload, and in large department they are more specialized. A large criminalistic laboratory may have sections specializing in firearms and explosives examinations, tool mark examination, document examination, biological examination, physical analysis, chemical analysis, soil analysis, and identification. So let's have a look on different section of criminalistic laboratory. The very first one is firearm section. The firearm section examines the bullets from the body of a homicidal victim and compares the condition of these bullets to one fired from the suspected weapons. This is done with a compression microscope and by weighing and examining the bullets, shell and weddings. Firing pin and ejector markers are also examined. The evidence in documents and recorded for presentation in court during testimony, and the firearm expert present the result of these examination. So this is the firearm section. The next one is examination of explosive, which is also a responsibility of criminalistic laboratory. Examination of explosive is increasing in volume in large laboratories. The explosive examiner is responsible for the collection of evidence on the scene, examination in the laboratory, reconstruction of the device, and determining the type of accidental or suspect explosions. The evidence is often fragmentary and may include a timing device, detonation device, explosives, and package in which the explosives were found. Explosive examiner may have to reconstruct the bomb and possibly detonate it in order to demonstrate its similarity to the crime scene evidence. In fatal explosion cases, cooperation with the pathologist is very essential, as a part of explosive may be embedded in the body of the deceased, which is done by maybe or autopsy or postmortem, etc. Forensic chemistry. Forensic chemistry is responsible for the chemical testing of drugs and other substances found as evidence. These include drugs, alcohol, accelerants used in arsons, and residual explosive after a bombing. This section may be responsible for the testing program of blood alcohol and breath alcohol evidence in drunk drive cases. Serology section. In the crime laboratory, forensic scientists in the serology section deal with identification of blood and seminal fluid. These require a high degree of expertise and experience in biological technique. Soil analysis required experience, as it combines chemical and physical testing with a considerable skill in the use of microscope. Microscopy itself is the mainstay of crime laboratory. A private organization, the MC Krohn Institute of Microscopy in Chicago, is a major resource in the specialized field of research and practical investigation related to the soil and other fragmentary trace evidence. The next one is identification problems. Identification problem provide the impetus for developing scientific laboratories as a section of law enforcement agencies. Identification departments are now a mainstay of modern criminalistic laboratories. They play a role in identification of fugitive felon through photographic records, composite drawings, or fingerprint compression. They may also be used in case of skeletal remains or of fragmented bodies from disaster. Many techniques including X-ray films, photography, fingerprinting, dental compression and blood typing may be used in identification laboratory. Voice print compression is a recently developed specialty of crime laboratory. The next is application of physics, which is also used in criminalistic for the examination of the scene. The application of physics play a major role in investigation of minute trace evidence and accident cases in major crime laboratory. This requires the use of instruments that perform neutron activation analysis, which is a non-destructive method of testing, as you are familiar with this method very well. X-ray diffraction instrument may also be used in a well-equipped laboratory. In the laboratory investigation of an automobile accident, tire may be examined for failure. So these are some important section of criminalistic laboratory.